There are 7 American cities where an evacuation order can turn into a trap in under an hour. Not because the disaster is worse there, but because the way out is worse. One bridge, one tunnel, one desert highway, one canyon road with the fire already in it. The people in those cities do not know they are on the list until the alert hits their phone and every neighbor on the block is trying to leave through the same choke point at the exact same time. Washington, Nevada, California, Colorado, Texas, New York, New Jersey. 7 cities across those states where the map itself is the problem. Geography and traffic and population stack up so hard that the honest answer to how you get your family out is that you had to have started yesterday. And here's the part the tactical channels will not say out loud. When the highway locks, the tunnels close, and the gas stations run out inside the first 6 hours, the guy with the $4,000 bug-out truck is stuck in the same 3-mile line as the minivan in front of him. His gear does not move. Neither does he. No shoulder to ride, no air support coming for you. Just you, the family, the fuel gauge, and the clock. That is the 72-hour window this comes down to. The honest one, not the movie one. And on this list are 7 cities, one priced under $40 fix that beats every gadget on the market, and the exact route card move that decides whether your family is out or your family is in it. Every one of them. So let me open the loop that runs this whole thing. Before we get back to it, you've seen where this country's been going, and if it ever gets ugly on your street, whatever happens at your door is going to be over long before help shows up. So I wrote it all down. The SHTF Home Defense Manual, 667 pages on protecting your home. Doors, locks, the plan, the law, and the week nobody's coming. The cheap fix is first before anybody sells you a bunker. $47, and the link's right below this video. All right, back to it. There is one item on this list that costs under $40, sits by your front door, and it is the single thing that decides whether your family is on the road inside 15 minutes of the alert or still hunting for the flashlight when the tunnel closes. Not a gun, not a truck, not a generator. I am saving it for the end on purpose because every other city-specific move I hand you is worth a whole lot less if you skip that one. And the reason you have probably never heard it framed this way is that it does not look good on camera. Half the folks selling you the Tacticool bug-out truck have never sat in a real evacuation. They are selling cool. Cool gets the click. A lot of good folks get talked into that. I am Rhett Callahan. I run projects at a custom rifle shop, so just about everything crosses my bench. But I got serious about this the day I sat down with 2 kids of my own and read the after-action reports from Rita, Sandy, and the Colorado burns. I am here to make you ready, not scared. So here is where we are going. 7 cities across 7 states. Washington, Nevada, California, Colorado, Texas, New York, New Jersey. The specific reason each one becomes a trap, what is actually at stake without a plan, and the exact under $30 move that keeps your family moving instead of stuck. We take them in the order a real evacuation actually hits you. Know it is coming, stage your gear, leave early, and if you cannot leave, hunker smart. Some cities you would expect, a couple you would not, and the last one is the $40 fix I just teased. Because the question is not, do you own a bug-out bag? The question is, can you be in the driver's seat, family loaded, keys turning, inside 15 minutes of the alert? Once you see it that way, you cannot unsee it. First city on the map, Seattle. Picture the alert hitting your phone at 3 a.m., a Cascadia fault quake, or the once-in-a-decade winter storm that pushes a landslide across I-5. You grab the kids, you get in the car, and you realize what most Seattle drivers never think about. This city sits on a strip of land pinned between Puget Sound and Lake Washington, and just about every way out crosses a bridge or a viaduct. The 520, the I-90, the West Seattle Bridge. If 2 of those go down, 500,000 people share the ones that are left. The city itself ranks earthquakes among its highest hazards, right alongside landslides, floods, and winter storms. That is Seattle-owned emergency planning, not my opinion. And the Washington Geological Survey publishes fault, landslide, and tsunami maps for a reason. The risk is not hypothetical. This is the know layer. The whole game upstream of an evacuation is knowing what is coming before the phone alert, because once the bridges are packed, the decision has already been made for you. A hand-crank NOAA weather radio picks up the National Weather Service alert 10 to 20 minutes before your cell tower does, and in a real quake, the cell towers may not be there at all. The fix runs about $27. A $12 hand-crank NOAA radio like the Midland ER210 or the Kaito equivalent, both at Walmart or Home Depot, sits on your kitchen counter and never needs a charge. Then print, laminate, and tape to the inside of the pantry door a 2-route alt map, your primary and one backup that does not cross the same bridge. $15 in laminate and print costs. Now when the phone dies, the radio still talks and the map still points. $27. Name the smart home evacuation system that does that. But a bridge city dies because there is water on 3 sides. The next one dies because there is nothing on any side. No shade, no shelter, no help for 200 miles. And the reason most folks in that city will not make the drive alive is a mistake you can fix at the dollar store. Second city, Las Vegas. And Vegas is not dangerous because of the Strip. It is dangerous because of what is outside it. Every real route out of that city is a desert highway with a 100-mile stretch of nothing on the shoulder. I-15 north toward Utah, I-15 south toward Barstow, US 95. Get on any of those in July with the AC dying and a car full of kids, and evacuation becomes something else entirely. The car dies in 115-degree heat. The tow trucks are 3 hours out, and the water bottle in the cup holder was empty an hour ago. Reuters reported Las Vegas hitting above 110 during a southwest heat wave, with wildfire-favorable conditions running alongside it. That is the honest, recent picture, not a scare number. And here's the piece nobody plans for. The human body dumps water at nearly a liter an hour in that heat, and a stuck car with the engine off becomes a 200-degree box in under 20 minutes. This is the stage layer. An evacuation from Vegas is not grab and go. It is have the desert kit already in the trunk because there is no gas station coming to save you between mile marker 40 and mile marker 140. The fix is about $22 total, and it lives in your trunk from May through October. An $8 case of bottled water from Sam's. 1 full case per person, minimum. A $3 Mylar windshield shade from the dollar store, which drops interior temp by 30 degrees in 10 minutes. And a $5 1-gallon jug per family member, filled, rotated every 6 months. Total about $22 per person, and the car becomes a survivable shelter instead of an oven if traffic locks up in the pass. $22, and that jug does not quit when the AC does, but at least in Vegas the road is straight. The next city has 10 million people, 6 freeways, and a canyon fire that can jump a lane faster than the traffic in front of it moves. Getting out of that one is less about gas and more about paper, because the phone in your pocket lies when the towers go down. Third city, Los Angeles. And LA is not one trap, it is 4 stacked on top of each other. Earthquake, wildfire, tsunami on the coast, flood in the canyons. Cal OES built the whole My Hazards public tool specifically because those 4 hazards overlap on the same map. So picture the wildfire coming down a canyon at 40 miles an hour. The evacuation order goes out for 4 zip codes at once, and 500,000 people funnel onto the 405 or the 101. Inside 20 minutes, both freeways lock. Now the fire is closer than the car in front of you, and Waze is telling you to take a canyon road that is already on fire. California-owned emergency guidance flags seismic, geologic, flood, wildfire, and drought as concurrent safety concerns. Layered risk is not a doomer talking point out there, it is the state baseline. And here's the piece the app cannot help with. When 20 million people all hit the same navigation servers, the routing engines choke. Waze shipped users straight into a burning canyon in 2017 because it optimized for speed, not fire location. This is the leave early layer. An LA evacuation started at hour 0 is already too late. The ones who get out are the ones who left at hour -2 on gut and a paper map before the app crowd loaded the same road. $15 one time. A paper Thomas Guide style Los Angeles County map book at any AutoZone or truck stop. Pre-app. Does not need signal. Does not lie. Combine that with the free Google Maps offline download of the whole LA basin, cached to your phone before the disaster. $15 in 1 hour on a Saturday afternoon, and you now have 2 navigation systems that do not share a failure mode. When the tactical bug-out truck guys are staring at a spinning wheel on Waze, you are looking at ink on paper. $15. Ink beats the algorithm. And speaking of things that do not come when you call, the next city has the exact same wildfire problem, plus one you never see coming. Because in that state, the fire ends and then the real evacuation starts. And police response is measured in something a lot longer than minutes. 4th city, Denver and the whole Colorado Front Range. And this one bites twice. First fire, the wildfire evacuation that hit Colorado City, Beulah, Rye, and San Isabel a couple of years back. Thousands ordered out, single mountain road, everyone at once. But then comes the part nobody plans for. The fire passes, people come home, and the next July thunderstorm hits the burn scar. A hillside with no roots, no vegetation, nothing holding the soil. It turns a summer rain into a flash flood that takes out the same road you evacuated on. Now you are trapped on the return trip. Colorado wildfire reports flag burn scar flash flooding as a serious post-fire risk, with forecasters warning that even modest rainfall on a fresh scar can generate flash floods on burned terrain. That is the record, not my opinion. And here is the honest response lag number you need in your head. Rural Mountain 911 response runs past 15-20 minutes in the good scenarios, and a lot longer when the same storm has knocked out the road they would come on. For the first stretch, congratulations, you are the first responder. So this is the hunker layer. Sometimes the smart move is to stay put with 3 days of supplies and let the road clear. About $22. Get a $20 laminated route card. I use a piece of cardstock, 2 Sharpies, and a $2 laminating pouch from Staples. Put your primary route, 1 alternate that does not cross a known burn scar, and the 2 nearest FEMA-designated shelter addresses on it. Pair it with the same $12 NOAA hand crank from item 1 doing double duty. Now you know before the phone does whether the storm is about to unload on a hillside upstream of your only way out. $22, and the mountain does not get to surprise you twice. You know, if you are still watching, you are already ahead of most of your street. The folks who clicked off went back to assuming the road always stays open. Ready beats scared. And the next city trains that logic on the water itself, because in that city, the surge moves faster than the traffic. 5th city, Houston. And the reason Houston keeps ending up on these lists is not the hurricane, it is the timing. Rita in 2005. 2.5 million people tried to evacuate the Houston metro at once. Cars ran out of gas in gridlock. People died on the freeway, not from the storm, from the leave. Harvey in 2017. Officials did not call a full evacuation for the opposite reason, because the last one killed people. That is the Houston trap. The city is so big, so car dependent, and so pinned against the Gulf that the highway locks up before the surge even arrives. And the surge does not check traffic. The Gulf Coast is routinely threatened by hurricane surge, rain flooding, and 50-mile evacuation columns that do not move. That is the historical record from 3 named storms, not speculation. And here's the sentence that decides whether you are on the road or in the water. An evacuation started 72 hours out of landfall averages a survivable outbound trip. An evacuation started 24 hours out averages a 12-hour crawl. This is the leave early layer, done hard. The only working Houston evacuation is the one you started before the mandatory order, on the forecast, not the mandate. The fix is a rule and a $9 gas can. The rule is free. When a named storm enters the Gulf and any track cone touches Houston, you leave at hour 72, not hour 24. Your boss will call it overreaction. Your neighbors will laugh. You will be in a hotel in Dallas while they are on the shoulder of I-45 with the fuel gauge on E. And the $9 red plastic gas can from Home Depot, filled and rotated every 6 months, is what keeps you moving through the one stretch where every station has a bag over the pump. $9 and 72 hours. The tactical influencers will not tell you the winning move is boring. Leave early, drive slow, sleep in a comfort inn. But at least Houston has 6 freeways. The next city has 2 rivers, 2 tunnels, 4 bridges, and 8.5 million people. And when the order comes down, most of them find out the walking route the hard way. 6th city, New York City. And New York problem is not a storm. It is a math problem. 8.5 million people. 6 hurricane storm surge evacuation zones the city has literally mapped from Zone 1 highest risk down to Zone 6. Coney Island, the Rockaways, Lower Manhattan, Battery Park City, low-lying Staten Island, portions of the Bronx and Queens. When a Category 2 order goes out for Zones 1 and 2 alone, that is hundreds of thousands of people converging on the same handful of bridges and tunnels. And the tunnels close before the storm even makes landfall. NYC-owned hurricane guidance divides the storm surge risk into those 6 zones for exactly this reason. The planners already know a general evacuation does not work, so they staged it. And Sandy in 2012 proved the geometry. The water breached Lower Manhattan, the subways flooded, the tunnels shut, and hundreds of thousands were on foot inside 24 hours. That is the record. This is the stage layer at its hardest. Because in New York, evacuate does not mean get in your car. Most residents do not have one. It means get to the transit hub with what you can carry before the trains stop running, which for the last out crowd is usually about 6 hours before landfall. The fix is about $32. A preloaded MTA Omni card or unlimited Metro card with $20 on it, kept in the go bag, not the wallet, so it is still there when you are running. Plus a $25 folding hand cart or luggage dolly from Target, the kind city apartment folks use for groceries, for the 2-mile walk to a shelter when transit shuts. Not a tactical backpack, a grandma cart. It carries 100 pounds and rolls on a broken sidewalk. $32, and it beats the $400 tactical pack the influencer told you to buy because he never had to push it up a subway stairwell that was not running. But New York is not alone in that tri-state grid. The last city on this list shares its bridges, its highways, and its coast. When both of them evacuate at once, the barrier islands become traps the road itself cannot reach. 7th city, Jersey City and the whole North Jersey coastal corridor. Hoboken, the shore towns from Long Branch down to Cape May, the barrier islands. And this one is a special kind of trap because the road you evacuate on floods before the storm arrives. Sandy showed it. The causeways and barrier island roads went underwater from tidal push, 6-8 hours ahead of landfall. Folks who waited for the mandatory order found the only road off the island already gone. And because the tri-state grid is shared with New York, every highway inland was already packed with the outbound Manhattan crowd. New Jersey state planning documents flag coastal flooding and evacuation route complexity as the top hazards for the shore corridor. That is the planning record, not conjecture. And the tri-state geometry makes it worse. The Turnpike, the Parkway, and 78 are the same roads absorbing the NYC evacuation from Item 6. Combined outbound demand can hit 2 million vehicles in a 24-hour window. This is the Leave Early layer, Tri-State Edition. A shore evacuation started when the order comes down is already stuck behind Manhattan. The ones who get out are the ones who read the same forecast cone Houston reads and moved before the neighbors did. The fix is $6 and a Sunday afternoon. A $6 Rand McNally Highway Atlas at the truck stop. The full U.S. version, not just the state map. Sit down at the kitchen table and mark 3 routes out of your county. The one everyone will take, one that goes west into Pennsylvania on secondary roads, and one that goes south through the Pine Barrens before cutting west. Photocopy the marked pages, one in the car, one in the go bag. $6 total. When the GPS locks up, the Atlas still works. $6, and the Atlas does not need a cell tower. So there is the 7. Washington, Nevada, California, Colorado, Texas, New York, New Jersey. 7 different traps, 7 different priced fixes, all under $32 each. But every single one of them fails if the family is not out the door in 15 minutes. And that, the one thing that gates all 7 is the $40 item I've been holding since the start. All right, the under $40 item I've been holding since the start. Here it is. And once you see it, you will get why every city on this list is worth a whole lot less without it. Because it is not a city-specific move. It is the thing that decides whether any of the last 7 fixes actually reach you in time. It is a pre-staged 72-hour go bag with a laminated route card, and it sits inside 3 feet of your front door. Not in the basement, not in the garage, not in the closet under the ski gear. 3 feet from the door. And the whole thing, bag included, runs under $40 at Walmart. Not a $400 tactical pack, a regular school backpack. Because in a real evacuation, nobody notices and nobody quits carrying it. Because here is the highest stakes scenario in this whole video. The alert hits. You have 15 minutes before the freeway locks. Houston, LA, NYC, all of them. And the family that spends those 15 minutes hunting for a flashlight, a phone charger, and a bottle of water is the family in the parking lot on the interstate 3 hours later. $20 backpack, $12 NOAA radio, $6 Atlas, $200 cash in 20s, photocopied IDs in a Ziploc, laminated route card taped to the outside. Under $40 for the bag and gear. Priceless when the clock starts. One bag, $40, 3 feet from the door. The difference between your family in the driver's seat at minute 14 and your family still upstairs at minute 45. Name the tactical influencer system that does that. There is not one. That is why it is the last thing on this list. I will be straight with you. Most folks in these 7 cities will go their whole life and never sit through a real evacuation. Odds are on your side, but most is not all. And the whole list I just handed you costs less than one Costco run. So even if I am wrong about your city, what did it cost you? A Saturday afternoon and a Sharpie. So here's what you do before you sleep tonight. 3 things under 30 minutes total. Grab a backpack from the kids' closet and start filling it. Radio, water, Atlas, cash, IDs, and set it 3 feet from the front door. Print your 2-route escape card on paper and tape it to the inside of the pantry. And write on your calendar, right now, the sentence. If a storm cone touches my city, I leave at hour 72, not hour 24. That is it. You just moved your family from the folks stuck on the freeway to the folks in the hotel. Not because you got scared, because you got ready. Ready beats scared. Every single time. Drop a comment. Which city on the list are you in, and which fix are you doing first tonight? And if I missed a city that belongs on this list, tell me which one and why. I read every one of them. And do me one thing. Send this to the one person whose family lives in one of these 7 cities before the next storm cone touches their coast. Not for me, for them. Next, we go deeper. The exact contents of the $40 go bag, item by item, with the 3 things almost everybody forgets. Subscribe so it lands in front of you before the alert does, not after. Shoot straight, and I will see you at the counter.